My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of The Wrath of Becky. And this is a sequel to Becky, a movie that came out a few years ago that I really didn't care for. The directing was just really amateurish, and I thought the performances were really bad, and just nothing about it stood out to me. So I wasn't going to watch this movie, but then I heard from pretty much everyone that it's much better. So I gave it a chance, and yes, I would say it's definitely an improvement. Is it a good movie though? Let's begin talking about the cast. Lulu Wilson, I thought, gave a much better performance here. She had a lot more confidence here. I thought she hit those comedic beats better, and even though I do think she tries a bit too hard to be edgy, she still was entertaining. You've got the villain played by Sean William Scott, Stifler himself, and I thought he did a pretty good job. Just a side note, his movie Goon is one of the most underrated movies of our time. Definitely a top 3 sports movie that if you haven't seen, you've got to check it out. But anyways, back to Wrath of Becky. Then you've got Denise Boss, who I thought was fine in the short time she was in this movie. But every other performance is atrocious. Michael Cera was terrible. Aaron Villa was terrible. Matt Angel was terrible, and Courtney Gaines was terrible. So when you have a very small cast and over half are terrible, it kinda overshadows the good, unfortunately. And the movie is also directed by Matt Angel and Susan Coote, who directed this movie called The Open House. And I say this without exaggeration, but that is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But they do a decent job here. It's definitely going for that quickly edited, quirky kind of style, and it's serviceable enough. It's nothing new, it's nothing you haven't seen done before, but it gets the job done. And I do like how this movie delivers on the blood. There are a few brutal moments that really stood out here, and the movie's like an hour and 20 minutes, so it just flies by. Like, because of that, I thought it was a very easy watch. But because of that short length, I've also got an issue with this movie, and it's the fact there's not enough victims. There's only like 4 or 5 villains, and when the killing starts happening, the numbers go down way too quickly. I feel like you needed 5 or 10 more guys so you could drag it out a bit more, so you could deliver on a bit more blood and gore and what we go to this movie for. And I thought the writing was really bad. There was one scene of this adult male who's in a pit. It's a very short pit and he can't get out for some reason, and I didn't buy that, and the dialogue was really bad, and just characters were just written in a very sloppy manner time and time again. And then we get to the ending of this movie. Well, I think it's trying to set up a sword movie in the most ridiculous of ways. Which, if there's a sword one, count me out. Like, it's just, it ends on a really stupid note, and it's time to get political because the bad guys in this movie are called the Noble Boys, and they're planning an insurrection on the town hall. Gee, I wonder what they could be trying to get at here. Look, all I'll say is that them trying to compare this group of villains who kill innocent people and do all the things they do in this movie to a bunch of losers who wandered into a government building, it's just delusional. And it's just creating a divide with this movie that didn't need to exist. It could have easily been apolitical, and you just have these dirt big villains, but they had to draw comparisons. They just couldn't help themselves. But honestly, it really doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things here. I think this movie is tolerable. I think it's serviceable. What really holds this movie back, though, is just by the time it gets going, it's over, and I wanted a bit more from it. It is a well-paced, it's a very easy watch. I think Lulu Wilson and Sean William Scott carries this movie well enough, but I just wasn't satisfied by the end of this movie. So I'll give The Wrath of Becky a 5 out of 10 with a slight recommendation. Okay, have you seen The Wrath of Becky? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.